great way to burn calories and have fun doing it. Joining us now are personal trainers Elizabeth Leonard and Sean McKeever, and they join us to tell us more about cycling indoors, because you can actually go on a bike ride in the wintertime.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, you guys have been pedaling for quite a while, maybe, what, 5 minutes or so?
That's right.
And you're able to talk because you're personal trainer, so you got this down. Okay, so now let's do like cycling 101, but we're going to bring Seth out and get him on the bike and get Elizabeth off.
All right,
so we
come
can chat
on.
with her.
This is all ready for you to go.
Thank you very much.
So this is, I mean, there's cycling and there's, you know, cycle class. There's all different names for cycling.
Right.
But what is it? Basically, it's just riding a stationary bike, right?
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct. That's correct.
So now these are bikes that are from your studio. You brought them in.
Correct.
And now, what is it that people need to know when they go to a cycling class?
When you come into a cycling class, especially if it's your first time, we already did this with Seth.
I'm
but
a
you
trained
wanna,
professional now.
That's correct. You want to make sure you've got the proper bike fit. So your first ride indoors, sometimes people will think it could be a little uncomfortable seated. You don't want your arms fully extended. So we kind of already went through the bike fit with Seth ahead of time. But when we do this, and you'll see, you know, we've got different heights. We've got 2 different heights of gentlemen on the bikes. A quick spot check. We start with a bent knee, and we can start with the seat about the same height as your hip.
Okay.
When we're reaching forward, we want to have extension in the arms, but without having your joints fully locked out. So you can see how Sean's got a nice bend in his shoulders and his elbows. He's doing really well keeping his chest lifted. So getting that proper fit is important for the success of the ride.
Now there's this knob here, this
Yes.
red knob, and that is, you can either go really, really, what is it, more tension? Is
Yes.
that the term?
Yes. This, the red knob in the middle on these bikes, when you turn it to the right, you are actually adding on tension. To the left takes the tension off. And if you were to press straight down on it, that would be your brake if for some reason you needed to stop pedaling immediately.
Okay, so
Your
then if
safety feature.
you don't want to get in any accidents
No.
while you're cycling, right?
No.
All right, so now Sean, when it comes to the tension being really, really difficult or
Yes.
not so difficult, what would you say is more important, to go really, really fast with low tension or to go slow with a higher tension?
Well, you want your quads pushing up against something, you know, some type of tension. So that leads back to the watts on the console. That generates how much power you're actually moving. So
Okay.
that's, if I had to choose, that's probably what would be more important there, would be your actual power of foot speed.
Because Elizabeth, on these consoles, we
Okay.
see a lot of things. We see RPM, and that's how fast people are going. But there's also watts, and a watt, is that the amount of energy that I'm outputting?
Watt is a unit that measures power. So if you were on the bike with a light amount of tension, your RPMs, that stands for revolution per minute, your pedal stroke is going to probably be really fast. So when you're in a class without a console, trying to get people to work at that right area, we use perceived exertion. Sometimes people will say, I'm not quite sure what that is. When you add tension, if you do that now, guys, add the tension on, and you'll see how your RPM number will get lower. But look at how much power you're creating. Your number almost tripled.
All
Right.
right.
So
Yeah.
then when you increase the tension. So now, Sean, if you were to stand up and ride the bike, does that make it more difficult or does that make it easier?
Well, you would need to adjust the tension accordingly, so you have some tension on you when you get up off the bike.
Sean is showing me up.
Well, he is a personal trainer, but Seth, I'm very impressed. I think you're doing a great job. Elizabeth and Sean, thank you for this intro to cycling. And Seth's going to keep working out. This week on Mass Appeal, it's time to organize